Alright, Katie, let's do a tic-tac-toe board. Alright, as you see here on the screen, I've got WeCreat MakeIt called up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the left hand side and click on a rectangle. I'm going to bring it back over to the work area. And I'm just going to make a square. Now if you have a specific size that you want your tic-tac-toe board to be based upon the pieces, then you'll have to input them here. With the box highlighted, you see the squares. You can drag them to make them whatever size you want to make them. But if you look up here at the top, it says scale. It's in millimeters right now. It's got numbers on it, and you can put in there if you want it to be say 80 millimeters square. You just type in 80 this way on the width, and then 80 on the height, and that makes it a perfect square at 80 millimeters. If you want to do your settings in inches, come over here to settings, click on it, and then you can click inches, and then exit out of it. Now these measurements up here are in inches, so let's just make them 3 inches square. So the first one under width, I put 3. The next one, I put 3. So now I have a box on the screen that's 3 by 3. And basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to use this as a reference. Trying to figure out the easiest way to do this for you. I've got a square there for reference, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to come over here and we'll hit ignore for processing. So when you do that with it highlighted, you'll see it kind of a subdued lighter color, and basically you're just using that for positioning. It's not going to print, it's not going to do anything. But there you got it. So I'm going to come back over here to rectangle again, and I'm going to click it, and I'm going to draw a long rectangle. Now if this is 3 inches square, they're 3 apart, so 3, 6, 9. So you need 9 inches across to do it. So under scale up here, I'm going to put my width as 9 inches. And I'm going to make the height half an inch. And let's make it 1/4 of an inch, 0.25. Okay. And there's a line there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that, and then you can either right click, hit copy, then click on the board by itself, right click and paste, and now you get 2 of them. Or that 2 more times. Left click, right click, paste, left click, right click, paste. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is with 2 of these, so like this one highlighted, I'm going to go up to the top to where these little funny looking triangles are, and then there's a square and an arrow and a square. These mirror the image left, right, top, bottom, and this one here is 90 degrees. So with that image highlighted, I'm going to hit the block with the arrow in the block, and it's going to jump up 90 degrees. Come back down here to the image, click another one, click that arrow block again, and it goes like that. Now what we're going to do is, using your block that we had as a reference, we're just going to take these pieces and we're going to drag them. And when you drag these, once they cross, see how it's empty in the center, but when it crosses that box, you can see it in the middle. You can use that for your spacing to know that you're where you're supposed to be. Okay. And there's a tic-tac-toe board, but you'll see the alignment on the edges is not correct. You can use the squares that are on the screen to do it. You can do it by doing it nicely with the mouse, Or if you click on the image, the squares between the control button and the 0, there's arrows. Once your items is highlighted, you can push the arrow and it'll slide over how you want it. Okay, so now you just position how you want them to fit. Probably the easiest way to do this, to make sure that you're correct on it, is take that, highlight that one that says ignore for processing, copy it, paste, make another one, and set it next to it. So now you know where it is. So now these have to go back up. I'll do that again, copy, paste, put this one on here, and as you see, the squares are perfect. Copy again, another one, paste, drop it in here next to this one, and you see where the lines aren't right. So I'm gonna click it and I'm gonna arrow it over until it's where it's supposed to be. Same thing with this one. And there you have your perfectly spaced tic tac toe board. Some of that might be a little fast, you might have to do it over again, but you'll find that if you're drawing something from scratch, if you break it down into shapes, you get rectangles, circles, and lines. That's the easiest way to work with them on here. If you have any other questions, let me know. Oh, just another note to add on here. I'm going to click on the background with nothing on it, and over here under material it says 9mm wood. Probably using basswood, so come down here, click basswood. I'm going to put 6mm. Your options on this board will be different because depending on the machine you got. This is a 40-watt machine I'm using right now. Okay, and then I'm going to hit confirm, and then I'm going to click on one of those legs. Actually, easiest way to do this. Now all these squares were there for reference. I'm going to pull them off the side so they're not used. And we highlight the whole tic tac toe board. Up at the top says merge graphic shapes. We're going to click that. And now all those separate images have become one image, as you can see. So now if we figure out how we want those to look, click on the image, okay, the image is clicked on, you're going to hit fill engrave. Now this way here you'll have line engrave and you just do your settings. But if you want it to be bolder, hit fill engrave, and now it shows up like that. And then you click on the preview, you click what you want it to be at. Again, these settings are for 40 watt, you may be different. Click on whatever looks like it's how dark you want it, and then click off of it. Now this here is going to print at a power of 78, a speed of 305. If you take your line density here to now set at 100, if you drag it higher, it'll cut deeper into the board. A little finer cut, and I cut deeper in. Okay, like I said, all these are clicked as ignore for processing. We're going to just get rid of those. Highlight all of them, hit delete, they'll disappear. So now here is your one image for your tic tac toe. There you go. Okay, one last thing to add here. If you've got your design there, you can click on rectangle and make a rectangle around it. Make it so it's bigger than it. Let go. Now there's your rectangle. Then click off it. Now re-click and highlight both of them. do align, align to center, align, align to middle. Okay, now your design is centered in that square. Click off of it. And you see that design is centered on there. If it looks like the way it is, click on the outside line, and then come over here to cut. Usually on regular basswood, 107 with enhanced cutting on is enough to cut it. Okay. Now, if you run like this, you're going to get a square with your TIC TAC TOE in the middle of it. I think that covers everything I can think of, but if there's anything else, let me know. Okay, so there's your design. Highlight both of them, and come over here to top and hit group. Now they are interconnected, so whenever you move this, you don't take it off center. You've got it where you need it to be. Okay, so now I'm going to hit refresh. I've got a board in the machine. I'm going to position this on the board where I want it. Then I'm going to hit autofocus. And what the machine is going to do is it's going to focus on that board. It takes a second to do so. Once it autofocuses, the head turns back to where it's supposed to go. And you'll see the picture change just a little bit because it refreshes after the autofocus. Okay, whenever you're working on your material, after it autofocuses, check your alignment. Make sure it's exactly where you want it to be, because sometimes it changes just a little bit, and sometimes it's just enough to throw it off your board. So here we are on the board. It's ready to go. Autofocused already. I want to hit start. All right. Then I'm going to hit send. And then it says press the button on the front of the machine to start. So when I go over here, I'm going to hit that. I'm going to go ahead and let it run. And then when it gets done, I'll be back with you. Alright, and here's the piece when it's done. These pretty good size squares. Now you can go back on the machine and you can do circles and crosses and T's or whatever, because when you lay them on their side, they're X's. Now I get you on.